G'day, Pete here from Lovell Rigs Fishing Tackle, also known as That Rig Guy. Now, what I'm going to do today is we're going to go through one of my rigs that you don't normally see. We've got called the Paternoster rig, but we've also do a whiting pat. Now, the whole purpose of the whiting pat is to have the 2 leaders, one long enough so it's sitting actually on the ground, and the other one up higher so that anything feeding up higher is going to get there and take that, so that column of water. This one's actually the beach rig because we've got the 3-ounce sinker on it on 30-pound line. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put this away over here, and we're going to actually build one on the 20-pound line, which is our standard. Hang this up. Alright, so we're going to be using 1/2-ounce sinkers today. We've got number 8 hooks, our red tube. Now these little beads are important. If you see a red bead, when you purchase a Lovell Rigs item, you've actually purchased one that I've built. If you've got green, then you've got Scotty. It just helps with our QR, or QA, sorry. So first of all, we're going to tie our barrel swivel. We're going to use the almighty blood knot. Remember, 7 twists through the loop there, bring it back up, bring it back through, get a bit of wetness, and then pull it down. Clip the end, and all nice and sweet. And the good thing about using a board like this is we get our loops and everything in the exact right spot where we want them. So you put that around there, and you bring that one there, around there, and just tighten up the line. So for our first loop here, we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, some of you know this is a T-knot or a loop knot. And pull that through. Bit of wet on there, and pull that tight. Now I want to leave that one there. If I was doing a Paternoster, I'd do it to be done differently. Fix that loop out of that. Once again, same again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Bring that up, back through. So looking like that. Hook it back up onto there. Pull tight. Bit of wet, and come through, so it's all looking nice and beautiful like that. I come down here to my marker here, and I cut that right there. I always put the sinker on next. It gives me a little bit of weight for what I want, so I put my little red bead on. Now these here, we use the coast locks. This here gives you the ability then to change your sinker up and down. So if you want to go to a higher sinker, you can put a heavier sinker on. If you want to do lighter, then go lighter. So we use the same knot as what we did for the barrel swivel. I'm going to go to 7, bring it through again. Bit of wet. Always remember to make sure you do the wet. If you don't do wet, then what happens is it causes friction. Friction is heat and line does not match well together. Sinker on. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to come across to the bottom one. So I'll cut this down here, like so. And as I said, heat and that don't work. So what we do is we melt this little bit here in. Alright, melt that in. We then grab our piece of tube, feed that on, just like so. And we then feed, if I can pick it up, hook, and once again we do the same technique again for the knot. I just find it's great. through and through. Now what I do is I give myself a bit of split there. I'll hook up onto there. I want a little bit of tail here. I don't want too much tail, because this, if I have too much tail, it interferes with the length of this bottom leader. Onto there. Once again, trim it. Never get there and use your teeth. It's actually really, really bad. So now we've got the first hook on, and it sits down on the bottom. So we're going to be sitting like that. That's going to be floating around on the bottom down there. Now we come to the top hook. Now there's a couple of techniques here on the top where it's vital, because if you don't do this technique, you're going to have your hook facing inwards. You don't want the hook facing inwards, you want the hook facing outwards. So I have a mark on my board here. Once again, cut, and I'll cut this one back as well. Oh, good old cigarette lighter. Melt it down. So put our piece of tube on. Now this is where the vital piece comes. You see how that's sitting up like that? I don't know if you can see how it's sitting up. All right, so what that means is if you want this to sit out like that with the hook out, when it's sitting up like that, it goes through the back of the eye of the hook. So it's going to go on like that. If you put it on the other way around, it's actually going to flip the hook around. And that's your tip of the day. So we're going to feed that on through the back. Bring it up. Do our 4, 5, 7 through the eye. Through. Once again, I'm going to use my little loop. Bit of wet. Tighten up. Clip it back. A bit of adjustment on this bit here. And there you go. Voila, one whiting pat. All perfect, ready to go. So remember, the vital part of this is with that top hook, what you want is you want to get there and have that hook, have that line. If it's pointing up, it goes to the back of the hook. If it's pointing down, it goes to the top of the hook. And I'll just make a little bit more of adjustment on that and we'll be right. But yeah, that's your whiting pat. I'm that rig guy. Get out, get amongst it, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.